First day of October. Beautiful day out here in Goodyear. Come on, Rexy. Morning. It's a beautiful day. First chance I got a chance to walk the dog since we were having this 100-degree plus weather. She's happy, I'm happy. There's something I got on my mind about the passivity of Democrats. When I was growing up, when I was a Democrat, we were anything but passive. Hope the wind's not too bad. I remember in junior high school, and in high school, we would have slogans like, power to the people. Slogans like, black power. So it was like, of course we had that we're gonna overcome, and they still saying that one. They ain't overcame yet. Some people, because they'll never overcome. Because it's a fixation in their mind about continuously overcoming. But that's not where I'm coming from today. I'm talking about this passivity. In those days, people would fight for what they believed. In those days, people would stand up. Now, maybe it's because those folks ain't got old and lost their fight. I don't know. I'm old. I haven't lost my fight. And we used to talk about looking out for Big Brother. Well, Big Brother is here. And Big Brother right now is in the form of this present Democratic Party. Or maybe that's why they won't do anything. Because they're still Democrats and they're just so loyal to the party, they don't care about Big Brother. Well, Joe Biden is definitely wanting to be Big Brother. And every time they come out with some new crazy crap, I never see the Democrats stand up to it. When I mean the Democrats, I'm not talking about these jokers in Washington that are making the laws that they never have to obey. I'm talking about the run-of-the-mill, everyday citizen like me. Well, I found out in this bill that they're trying to pass through, this $3.5 trillion bill, Joe Biden wants to know every banking transaction you have over $600. Now, the way the banking stuff is, as I understand it now, the only time the IRS is interested is when you have over $10,000. If you're moving $10,000 or more. That might cause some concern. That might make you wonder if people are laundering money or doing strange things. But $600, that encompasses everybody. The rich, the poor, the middle class. You can't buy a car. You can't put a down payment on furniture or anything without them knowing about $600. You go buy you a nice suit. Is it the government's business to know about that? But I don't hear Democrats complaining. I haven't heard them complain when gas went over $1 a gallon just as soon as Biden got in and shut down our drilling after he lied and said he wasn't. I haven't heard them complaining when he's begging OPEC to give us more oil that we got to pay for an exorbitant price when we are energy independent. I haven't heard them complaining when he opened up the borders and let everybody through. Oh, except for Haitians and Cubans. Everybody south of the border can come in. But he didn't want them Cubans coming in. Why? Because he thinks they're going to vote Republican if they ever get a license to vote. And how you doing? All right. And the Haitians? who are trying to come in by droves. He don't want them in there either. Maybe because he thinks that there's too many black folks there. And he'll have to learn about roaches again. And he don't want somebody else's children growing up in a racial jungle. I don't know. Just to keep the record straight, I don't care if folks came from Nicaragua, Botswana, Guatemala, Mexico, Honduras, or the Congo. They don't come here legally. I don't want them here. Why should American citizens have to compete with other folks for jobs and services? Why should our tax money go to those people? That's stupid. Now, I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, or Independent. It's going to still affect you. All these thousands, millions of people coming across the border is going to affect you. They affect me. It's going to affect all of us. But he's Big Brother. And he wants you to do what he says. And he don't care if you like it or not. What they said, the adult's going to be back in charge. Yeah. Donkey. Little kids like Rexy. So anyway, the passivity of these folks blows my mind. They're just going along and get along, I guess. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's happening. It doesn't matter if they go broke. It doesn't matter if they bankrupt the country. They don't care.
Sorry if I screwed you.
Oh, no, that's okay. I'm fine. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Morning. Yo, sit. Gotta adjust my camera here. Lady said she's sorry. She scared me. She ran up to me a little while ago. Jumping, she said something. There was so much wind I couldn't understand her. And I said, what? And I still couldn't understand her. And she said it again. She said, Jesus loves you. I said, Jesus loves you too. Matter of fact, Jesus loves you guys that's watching this as well. It's only a matter of how much you love Jesus. That's what's important. I don't want to get away from what I'm talking about. But as I pass by this part of the park, they're getting ready to set up. Let me see. We're going to have a ballet by the lake. Maybe they'll do Swan Lake, who knows, this evening. So they're all setting up this stuff. I think I'll come back later on today and get a little culture. Yo, Lexi. Come on, you can do it. So anyway, getting back to the passivity and Big Brother. If you don't think this $600 is crazy, you got a problem. And if they're gonna check 6, why not every transaction? You know, I remember when Obama was in charge and they claimed that they weren't spying on people. They were spying like a dog on all our phone calls. So they want to check up all our bank records, all our transactions. Then they'll know who to come after. Now, you Democrats that think that these people care about you, they care about you, yes, as long as you comply, as long as you do what they say. You know, that brings me to that nonsense they used to talk about where they believe in choice. They believe in choice. They're pro-choice. They believe that you can kill your baby, but that's it. They're not pro-choice as far as guns. They're not pro-choice as far as letting your kids to go whatever school you want them to go to. They're not pro-choice in any of that stuff. They want control. Absolute, unequivocal, total control. And they want the power. And I tell people all the time, they're not worried about the money. You don't have to worry about the money if you have the power. Because if you have the power, money always follows power. There's no getting around it. That's why these tech giants, these Twitter and Facebook and all these other Google people, they cuddle up to these folks. They cuddle up to the power. And they'll give them the money. So, you want to be passive? You want them to just rule your life? You want them to just tell you what you can do and what you can't do? And by the way, another little nugget out of this tax, or well, yeah, it's going to be a tax. This bill they claim, this 3.5 trillion or whatever the hell it is, they want to put in a mileage fee tax. Tax you for every mile you drive. Now, I don't live in California anymore. When I was in California, I used to drive a minimum of 120 miles a day just to come to or from work. But I don't have to drive like that, but there's a lot of people who have to drive. We have never been taxed per mile. Why would you want the federal government taxing you per mile? These people will nickel and dime you to death. When are you guys going to start reading the Constitution and the history of the United States? What do you think the dadgum War of Independence was about? Taxation without representation. About them just telling us what to do, when to do it, how to do it. And now the Democrats' attitude is just shut up, obey, and take it. Shut up, obey, and take the jab. Shut up, obey, and pay what we tell you to pay. And let me get back to the jab while I'm there. You know, in a way, I'm retired. So I don't work anymore. I don't have to work. Thank God he provided for me that I don't have to. There's many people that work. And I'm glad they work. But the fact of it is this nonsense about making people take this jab and claiming that it's just another vaccine. It's not a vaccine. Vaccines, real vaccines prevented you from getting diseases. Now these people are running around here talking about the unvaccinated people are dangerous to the vaccinated. How is that possible? People with this corona vaccine have got corona again. How is that possible? If the thing works, then you don't need, you're not going to get it again. Why should you be worried about being around unvaccinated people? I mean, they're scaring people to death. People got more faith in the government. A government that sits around here and tells you that a man could be a woman, that a woman could be a man, and they want us to trust them on some experimental vaccination thing that, as I understand it, hypers up your immune activity. Well, I don't want my immune activity hypered up. I want it to work the way God functioned it. If there was a real vaccine, then it would be something that's going to protect you from this. And then on top of all this crap, the very guy that they got leading the charge, Fauci, was part of the whole problem in the first place. So you got the fox, taking care of the chicken coop, and we're supposed to listen to the fox all the time. Fauci was involved in the gain of function research at that Wuhan lab, experimenting with these bat viruses from day one. It's already been exposed. He even told his family about treatments, by the way, that are inexpensive. But for some reason, the government doesn't want us to use. Why? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Unless, of course, it's just about paying off Big Pharma, controlling us, and putting stuff in our bodies that we may not need. But nevertheless, it should be the individual's right whether they want to do it or not. Now, when you have a bunch of doctors and a bunch of nurses that are willing to quit their job because they don't want to get stuck with that mess, Why would the layman want to get stuck with that mess? I mean, I'm talking about those of us that aren't living in fear. With fear they can control you. And for the most part, all I want to do is fear the Lord. Because fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom and understanding. And one thing about fearing the Lord and knowing Him, even if I do go down, I'm going up. But with wisdom and understanding, and you're seeing what's going on around you. For me, I want to use common sense. I want to use wisdom. And I'm definitely not going to listen to a bunch of passive Democrats that just go along with whatever they say. I mean, these people would vote for a man that told them, I'm talking about black folks now, vote for a man that told them that if they ain't black, well, if they don't know the difference between him and Trump, they ain't black. Well, let me tell you that while I'm there, I want to sort of potpourri here. The difference between Trump and Biden. When Trump was in office, we had the highest economy in my lifetime. There were more jobs than people to fill them. People were making a whole lot of money. Gas was inexpensive. Meat didn't cost what it's costing now. When Trump was in charge, the border was secure and the wall was almost built. I mean, now the news media and the Democrats and the rhinos would never give him credit. They'll focus on his tweets and how mean he was and try to make up lies about him being in a Russian hotel with women urinating on the bed and all kind of nonsense when, in fact, the FBI and everybody knew that it was a lie from day one. And they ran with it because the swamp is deep. And the swamp likes to keep their power. And everybody in the power want to keep the power. The problem with Trump was this. He exposed the Washington elite. Folks have been there for 20, 30 years and accomplished nothing. And he exposed the fact that they could have did a whole lot more for the people if they really wanted to, because he did, even with them fighting against him. The problem with him was he wasn't part of the crew. The old Boys and Girls Club, the Washington Power Elite, those that just play the role. He was actually there for the American people. That's why these elites and these news people are freaking out every time they see a Trump rally. Today is jammed with people of all colors and persuasions because they knew that he was for the people. But the news media never tell you that. And, I'm amazed at so many people that I know personally that think that Trump is the devil. But when he was on his reality TV show or just buying and selling buildings and casinos and all that stuff, they never had a harsh word to say about him. And I always ask him, why? If he was so evil, how come you guys never said it before? And as far as the news media, it's clear. If they really, really did their job and Trump was the monster he was, they would have knew that years ago and they should have told us. So either they lied to us then or they're lying to us now. But nevertheless, when you get passive Democrats that no longer think for themselves, they do what they're told, they think how they're told to think, and they just react with fear and intimidation. And they sit around while these people destroy the world, their country. These so-called Christian Democrats sit around and they vote for people that are antithetical to God, that celebrate everything from killing babies in the womb to butchering your body and defacing the image of God. And they still claim they're Christians. But they don't stand up for God. They stand up for the Democratic Party. I'm not standing up for the Democratic Party. I'm standing up for God. Matter of fact, I'm standing up for God beyond the Republican Party, any party. God comes first, period. And if I don't do anything else, I want to leave a witness to future generations, if we still have any, that everybody hadn't lost their mind. That there are some of us that believe in God, country, and family. And we're not going to be passive. And we're not going to lie down. And we're not going to be intimidated with fear or repercussions. We're going to stand up for what's right. And we're going to fight until either the Lord calls us home or he comes and gets us. This is Sam Tolley. Rexy's over here. Rex, can you see Rexy? Rexy, there she is, cooling it. I'm gonna give her some water now. She had a nice little walk. Anyway, I'm out.